Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Medieval Total War campaign as Aragon in the late era in Glorious Achievements. We are sitting at one counting date for points remaining. It's currently 1425. We just registered our most recent points, which tipped us over 9 points over the Russians. Now, if we can maintain this lead in 1453, so that's about 28 years from now, then we will win a game. That's all there is to it. Looking around, there are a few things that could theoretically upset that balance. One of them is the Turkish. The Turks are quite strong in this version of history. They've got Egypt all the way up to, well, through the Balkans into Poland, actually. And it's not so much that they could beat me in terms of points, I don't think. Let's see, what would they have to do? Well, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4... 5. They're sitting at 5, and we're 1, 2, 3. Huh. Maybe they are going to do a lot better. The Turkish Empire, they got all of this. Nicaea, Serbia, Greece, Anatolia. They've got all their homelands, and they've got a decent conquest return. Now, that's the same as us, 2-1. So maybe we do need to think about this. Do I need to go to war with the Turks? I mean, that would be kind of cool. Because if they get 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 times 8 is 32. Okay, so it's really 5. So they're going to be getting 40 points, right? If nothing changes, they get 40 points. 80 plus 40 is 120. And meanwhile, meanwhile, if nothing changes, we are going to end up with 8, 10, 20, 30 points. Okay, we should still pull ahead. So it might be a little close, especially if they end up conquering a lot. I think they're actually going to get another glorious achievement at some point called Constantinople. That's going to be pretty close to the end date. So we may want to watch out for that, because it's possible they're going to, at the last second, get some clutch glorious achievement points that we might not see coming. So I'll have to keep remembering to revisit that. But for the most part, I think we're pretty good here. We have moved into Muscovy, so we're going to be denying this to the Russians. We don't necessarily want to hold all this. In fact, we may pull out of Ryazan next season. But basically, we just needed to take it away from them. So let's just end the year. Very strangely active rebels in the British Isles. Yeah, the Turks are really going out, aren't they? They're going to pick up another point here because they're invading, what is it, Bohemia as well as Volhynia. They're probably going to take this, and they may well take this also. And who knows, they may be invading Silesia and Brandenburg too, so this is fascinating. Okay, but regardless, the Russians just back out of Muscovy. They're going to go into the citadel there. All right, this is a siege. We did not win the province yet, so our crusade has not succeeded. Okay, just as I thought, yeah, the Polish are retreating in the face of the Turkish invasion. Okay, the Turks are backing out of Bohemia. All right, good. So 2 enemy ships sunk. I don't know who those are, though. But we did lose a ship also. Okay, Prince Ferdinand has matured. Hedonist and natural leader. He's got 5 command stars. Very nice. I think he is liable to be our... Yes, he's our current heir. Beautiful. He's 16 years old. Rank 5. Let's go take a closer look. We already saw that he was a hedonist. But natural leader is nice. Okay, decent... You know, decent all-around. Acumen could be a little higher, but actually it's an improvement from his father. So that's actually quite good. Let's see if we have any new goals. No, I didn't think so. Oh, no, we do. Oh, a very interesting one, too. Very interesting. Oh, so we need to have Naples. Who's got Naples right now? Our ally, the Pope. Well, I think we have no choice but to grab this. 1, 2, 3, that's 5 points. You know, we may as well right at the end of the game, right? The Pope is one of only 2 allies we currently have. The other is the French. We don't particularly need the French as an ally, but I think I chose them so that I could have a free hand theoretically to attack the Turks. But at the very end of the campaign, it doesn't so much matter. You're not going to be living with the consequences of your perfidious betrayals. At least you won't have that long to live with those consequences. We've got 9 influence, so we could have 1 more, I think. And if our crusade succeeds, we should see that get up there. But our king is going to be dying fairly soon. So it might almost be a good thing to wait for him to die before we take Muscovy. On the other hand, we may be kicked out. Let's take a look at what this... Yeah, this crusade is very weak. It's just 349 men. And we've got 759 there, and they've got a decent garrison, and they got 3 stacks who could move right up there. And we don't have anything we can pour in at the moment. All right. Jeez, this has the potential to become very chaotic. So what I'm considering here is just attacking, throwing everything at Chernigov. We don't really have the stuff to assault this citadel. The garrison is strong enough that it would be tricky, actually. I mean, I know it doesn't look that tough, but they've got boyars inside. This is a good unit. And they've got halberdiers, and they've got several ranged units, as well as these Bulgarian brigands who, you know, can fight pretty well. And we don't have any siege stuff. All right, you're jihading up to Poland. That's very weird because they have it currently, so I guess the jihad, I don't know why it's still active. Alright, I think we have to do this though. I think we want to send everything to Chernigov with the idea that the following turn we send it all up to Muscovy. Because our crusade may be kicked out, at least temporarily. Let's go ahead and build, I don't think we have anything, no. So let's go ahead and build some crossbows, some step cav, some urban militia archers. Step cav. We'll just do all of that. And money's still quite good. I do need to leave behind something. Maybe it'll be you? Alright, Pereyaslav. I should probably send this up north also. Alright, that's pretty bad. Oh, that's right, we can get step-heavy cav. Okay, that's just enough. And then we've got to do something similar here. Alright, everybody moves up. Ryazan, I guess Ryazan too. What we'll do instead, though, is we'll maybe move you up. And in Volga, Bulgaria, we may as well bring up... All right, we'll try to live with that. This is mostly to preserve the Crusade. And will also cause a little bit of chaos. Again, I don't really want to wipe out the Russians just yet, if ever. Okay, what we have to do here is build a port if we ever want our emissary to get out of here. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I want to do. Let's check the ship situation. We've got basically everything that I want down there, but here, okay, we do have a ship. And I guess that was just the Russians. We're not at war with anybody else other than the Almohads. We're missing a single boat in Skagerrak, as well as the English Channel, but I think we're building some boats. Yeah, down here. It's just going to take a little bit. We've got some extras, though. Maybe we'll do this. Alright, we'll just get you to the English Channel. That'll get a little trade. Yep, okay, so big attack. I noticed that the Russian faction leader did not join it. Alright, this is a big battle. And I'm sort of tempted to fight it. We're outnumbered, you know, almost 2-to-1. But we've got really good command with Prince Gark here. 5 stars versus 1 star. Now, all of these guys have armor upgrades, but so do ours. And the reinforcements, like reinforcements often do, you know, don't look that good. Plus, he's going to be hampered by the fact that 2 of these guys are immovable siege weapons. I mean, we've got almost no ranged stuff. We do have Jeanettes. Get some Arbalests. But those are currently set up for the second wave. I'm not sure. You know, honestly, maybe the ranged isn't going to matter. We've got cavalry that could really scatter this lineup. Alright, let's get rid of some of these swords. I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll just get the Arbalests. The Arquebusiers, I don't think we really want them. I wish I knew what their range was, but I don't think it's very high. And they could just be in bad weather anyway and completely useless. So let's not keep them. What we'll do is trade out like our least impressive swordsman. I guess that we'll do this. Okay, I think that's all right. We're going to be using our heavy cav in the first wave to hunt down these ranged units. And I think that'll be good. Let's see. Let's see if this works out. It is ridiculous that we're fighting in Muscovy, of course. And, you know, arguably, maybe I don't need to be doing this right now, but I'm doing it mostly to preserve the Crusade, right? And you know, to be honest, I'm not sure what's going to happen here if we do lose. If we had retreated from the battle, would we have just moved the Crusade marker back down? I almost never do that. Usually it's do or die with the Crusades. Okay, we don't really want to get too close to the front, because that's where their siege stuff is going to be. You know, having this hill would be nice, but it's not going to be that helpful, arguably. That said, Yeah, let's do it. I just don't see a lot of other good options. Okay, we've got a bunch of swords. Maybe they'll be in the middle. We'll have some order foot right up there. And we do have feudal sergeants. I guess they'll be kind of in the back. Alright, here's our Prince Gark. 2 units of chivalric knights. I do want them to be somewhat accessible. And Knights of Santiago will be back with the general, and I guess that's everything. So we're going to get hit with catapults and stuff and ballistas pretty early. What we could do actually is just march up. As soon as I get control of this again, we're going to do just that. A lot of AI stuff is happening at the moment, so did I accelerate time as well? I think I did. There we go. My goodness. Alright, let's run up. Alright, we're just going to press them. I'm going to send a cavalry up. First, we're just going to engage these armored spearmen. Alright, I am really sorry about this. I don't know what's going on. We must be having some Windows updates, if I had to guess. Alright, I heard that sound. And some of it is our own guys. Come on, computer, you can do it. Knights of Santiago have really taken a beating over here on the right. But we've won pretty well, I guess, in the left or the center. I'm a little annoyed at these armored spearmen who are doing well. Let's use the feudal sergeants to hopefully deal with that. Alright, we can get some reinforcements. I think... Geez, I might even want to keep these chivalric men-at-arms and just run them up to the edge of the map, because we don't have that many reinforcements coming. And we're going to want to keep the pressure up. Gosh, these armored spearmen against chivalric sergeants are doing incredibly well. Even with a very low general, low-ranked general, he only had 1 star. They've got, it looks like 3 valor. My feudal sergeants have 2, but I sent a couple of chivalric sergeants. And some chivalric men-at-arms, so it's kind of surprising how poorly they're performing. It looks like we have caught the enemy general here. And our chivalric knights and our sergeants are catching up too.
The enemy general is dead.
Nice.
Unfortunately slain before the Pox could kill him.
Alright, there goes that center. But these guys are still doing well. Okay, we've got Spanish Trinettes. Let's get on and engage at will, and we'll run them to the edge of the battle line. As well as all these order foot and so on. I think we can just ignore those armored spearmen. We'll just keep moving up. Alright, they finally broke. Good. So we can start to see them coming out. A lot of these are horse archers. So if we get right out in front of them and melee immediately, they're not going to put too much of a fight. Behind him, they've got ranged units. Alright, yep, they're going to be caught. These guys are kind of cheating. Okay, we got them. Yep, instantly rout. Beautiful. And they're going to route through all of their reinforcements. Okay, maybe we'll withdraw this one guy. Oh yeah, watch them all pop in. 40, 40, 40, all horse archers. And there are some spearmen coming, so we're going to want to be careful with this, just to make sure we're facing the right units up there. woodsmen, peasants. Alright, let's speed it up. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Okay, more. What do we got? Mounted crossbowmen here. Ah, some boyars. And then off in the distance through the woods, let's see. Arquebusiers, crossbowmen, spearmen. Alright, they're not firing at us. We are firing at them. I don't know if we're really doing any damage. Alright, yep. Let's just hit these spearmen in the flank. We're down to peasants, some urban militia. This might be just about the end of it. Yes, indeed. Alright, over 500 captives. A rocky start there with the hiccups of whatever was happening with my computer, but that seems to have resolved itself. So Chernigov, they have just withdrawn. As you can see, their faction leaders moved over to Lithuania. So we're not going to capture anything outright here. But we preserved Muscovy. We did not take it, however. There are plenty of people holed up in the castle still, but at least we are not likely to get a big counterattack. This is the strongest concentration of their forces at the moment. Alright, about to fall. Great. And Prince Pedro's come of age. Let's see. Secret blackmailer. Alright, we'll have to keep an eye on him. Prince Gark, though, the general of the last battle here, picked up a virtue which is charitable. Plus 10 happiness. That's fine. It doesn't really have anything to do with him. He's not the lord of any place, and he's not in line for the throne. Let's get my princess down somewhere, just to keep an eye on various things. Alright, so Bohemia has, in fact, fallen to the Turks, or at least the field army of it has. Wow, they've got Sipahis of the Port. Really interesting. Alright, we've got good loyalty in these lands. But yes, about to fall. That's great news. Okay, they do have some troops in Novgorod, so arguably we could be attacked again. Let's see. Let's bring up you and... Oh, how about this? Let's maybe instead... Let's bring the Billmen. I've not used them yet. And I guess there's no mercs here. Okay, Chernigov. Honestly, I'm not too concerned about it, but what I don't want to do is just completely abandon it, because then the Russians could move in and then on the following turn hit Muscovy, right? So I think instead we're going to move back like one stack under my best general to defend Kiev, because if they do attack down here, it'll be a river defense. And this is a decent army to hold off a river battle. Okay, so I think that should be fine. We're training up here. And let's just check for boats. I'd like to have one more ship available. Here it is. And with this, we should be able to connect everything again. That's going to add the Skagerrak province, and now we've got all of our trade routes back. So, obviously, ridiculous amounts of money are being made. Wow. Turks have reached the Baltic. Okay, so they attacked in Kiev, but just retreated out of it. And we got our Crusade. We got Muscovy. Alright, pillaged almost 6,000. Did a lot of damage there. And in a way, that's a good thing, because, let's see. Yeah, more buildings in Muscovy than any other province. They are not going to be able to get that now, right? Because, well, actually they do have a lot of buildings here, so let's go ahead, we'll destroy some things. It's interesting, we took over this cathedral, so we could make cardinals here, even though this is an Orthodox cathedral, right? It's not Catholic. So let's destroy it anyway. What we're going to do is just hurt their ability to get a lot of buildings, basically, to count for points. This feels a little mean. Maybe we'll stop here. I'll get rid of the assassins. Okay, so that is going to put them down quite a bit. They've got 4 buildings in Muscovy. Now, I don't know if it counts this as like 3 or 4 or 5 buildings, because it is technically an upgrade to the castle. But nevertheless, I'm quite confident that this is not going to be a successful objective for them after this. They also don't have Muscovy right now. Does that mean that I can leave? Possibly. I'm kind of tempted to. Because again, I don't particularly want to hold any of this. Let's check the Turks. Holy crap. Yeah, check this out. Okay, Constantinople has arrived. This gives them 16 points by itself. There is almost not enough room for their glorious achievement points to be counted. Wow. All right. I think we're going to have to go to war with the Turks. 16. 16. That's 32, right? .32 plus 32 is 60. Is that going to be 64 points? Am I doing my math right? Yeah, I think that's like 64 points. And we're only getting this, which is less than that. Now, we're still ahead by like 20, but I don't like it. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this whole campaign into a tailspin here. I think we're going to wait for the right time, though. We're going to move things into position, and then we're going to pull out of Russia and hit the Turks. We couldn't attack Constantinople now, even if we wanted to, because they've got a naval presence. And they've got some decent ships, it looks like. They've got the Bagala here. They've got dhows. Okay, dhows are rather basic. This is a boom. Yeah, that's quite good. And they've, more to the point, got ships really throughout the Mediterranean. Not comprehensively, of course. The AI does not do a great job of that, but they've got them in enough places that it is going to be a little difficult for us. We could move guys, like, to Greece. No, we couldn't. They've got that locked down, too. I guess it's this, this ship in the Straits of Sicily. Yeah, we can't get past it. This is a choke point. If I had ships here and here, though, we could get around it. So, I think that's what we're going to move to. Let's move a caravel down to the central Mediterranean. Actually, just this. Right? We can go from here to here. Oh, no, they've got a ship here, too. They're doing okay. Although, I guess... Jeez, they don't have a fleet here, but yeah, we would have to go through this, so... Yeah, they're actually doing a decent job. Now, that could shift. They can certainly reallocate ships without paying close attention to where those things are ending up. So, if we want to attack them and hurt them, the likeliest choice would be to take our Russian army and head it down this way. And we could also set up a crusade for Constantinople. I think that's what I'm going to do. We're going to end this series with a crusade for Constantinople, and then probably a defense of Constantinople, because we're going to want to make sure that we keep it. Along the way, we're going to be depriving them of the Turkish Empire objective, or at least a good chunk of it. Serbia and Greece, right? These should be our goals. Serbia is here, Greece is here. Even if we don't end up keeping these provinces for ourselves, like we could take this, vacate it, and maybe Hungary comes back. So that'll be the next plan. Okay, I think what I'm going to try at this point is just to see if there is any chance, once this falls, if the Russians would like a ceasefire. Alright, Chernihiv has fallen. So, let's do it. Public order looks good. And here's the last vestige of Hungarian power holed up in, I guess, Croatia here. Wow, is this where the Poles are? Yeah, they're stuck up in Prussia. And a lot of border forts in the areas too, so I can't really help out with my spies. Okay, let's just go back to doing a little bit of building. We were going to go for chivalric knights here, theoretically. Maybe there's still time for that. Okay, we've got cogs. Do I want to go cogs? I think we want to go for the big cannons. right? We want to start getting some siege weapons here. Like, do we want a trebuchet? I don't know if it's worthwhile if we can, you know, build these demi-culverins. Let's go do a ton of those. This would get Carex, actually. Do we have a place where we're doing guns? I think we have, yeah, arquebusiers. But I think we don't have that many fortresses outright, so I don't think we're going to see like the best gunners until we do that. And so what that means is it's kind of like we may as well just do it in Aragon, right? Where else do we even have a citadel? In Grenada? All right, let's do this. 20 years. I mean, we won't make it, but yeah, why not? Okay, I did not get the message that the Hungarians have been eliminated, but would I get that message? Okay, they're still around somewhere. So their king was wiped out here, so it could be Wallachia, it could be Austria. The Germans are definitely not doing too well. Okay, now I don't need a cardinal here. Let's go to, like, yeah, let's send him right over to Austria. All right, and our cardinal is, well, I thought he was asking for a ceasefire. Let's try that again. Okay, we got a sort of a turnover here of the Russian Grand Prince. Speaking of, our guy should be dying pretty soon. Yeah, he's 60. Let's get a spy into Egypt. I don't think it's going to do too much good. I think we've determined that there are really good agents about. Alright, is that a civil war with Russia? Oh, interesting. Okay, the Danes moved in, but they don't want to fight the rebels. Okay, the Polish have been destroyed. Okay, no ceasefire with Russians. Okay. I'm kind of waiting for this king to die, so that we can get going with this new crusade. That's part of what I'm waiting for. And then I guess the other thing is I want to see what else the Russians are going to do, right? Like, if I start moving down now, we've got time. We've got like 20 years before the game ends, so we may as well wait, right? To see if these... Yeah, Muscovy's their only homeland, though. But I wouldn't mind seeing the Danes take Novgorod. Okay, we at least know that the papacy owns Tyrolia, which is really interesting. Let's move you to Franconia and then down to Bavaria. Okay, Dane's making another move for Novgorod. Turkish going to Venice. Okay, there's that. The king of Aragon has died from an illness. Oh, we lost a caravel. Very annoying. Okay, so this is Austria. It is just Turkish. Now, the Hungarians have got to be somewhere over here, but I mean, I guess they don't have to be. They could be somewhere else. Yeah, the papacy is stuck inside Venice. So what do I want to do? I can't relieve it by sea because of this Turkish boat. We can start attacking the Turkish ships, but I want to wait until the time is right for that. Now, if I set a crusade from Lyon, I wonder where it's going to have me go. It may dump me, like, somewhere here. Or it may have me leaping over to Sicily or something. I honestly don't know. Let's see what they've got. Okay, we can't even see what they have because of the their fleets in the region. Okay, well, I guess now that the Danes have Novgorod, at least temporarily, I don't mind moving my guys down out of Muscovy. Let's put them in, yeah, let's go all Chernigov. That might be a big loyalist revolt. It might be, you know, rebels, who knows. I think what you can pretty much safely guarantee, and I may as well do this just to kind of put my money where my mouth is and show you what I think is going to happen here. If we destroy everything and put it on very high taxes, we're going to have two rebellions. We're going to have a loyalist revolt and we're going to have a rebel rebellion. So two armies should show up next turn, but they're both going to be fairly small. So destroy everything, crank taxes up very high, and then you've got like a coin flip about who's going to take it back, the loyalists or the rebels. Probably the loyalists, because if they have people nearby, they're just going to move them in. But that's what I think is going to happen anyway. And so we'll gradually pull our armies down in stages. Maybe giving the Danes time to exploit this. Maybe, who knows? Let's see what else we can do here. Okay, I want to go for some, like, crossbowy type units. Where are these located? I think they're in Algeria, right? Well, we don't have Pavese arbalesters anywhere. We've got Pavese crossbows, and we've got arbalesters, so we'll just do those. Alright, we've got one demi-culverin. And I think before I declare war, I'd like to get my guys together. But the trick is the Turks have, you know, enough fleets. Look at this. They're clustering around the central Mediterranean. So I'm kind of limited in where I can move all of my troops. Getting to Sicily doesn't really help. But we've got, of course, all of these guys, so let's end the year. See what that rebellion looks like in Moscow. Alright, the Danes are coming into their own, going to Northumbria. And the papacy striking back in Venice. Oh, very interesting. So, the Turks are withdrawing, and I don't know what they're going to do down here. This is the... Geez, it looks like the Turkish Sultan is attacking the actual Pope. Wow. Alright, so the Turks are going to get the Papal States. I don't know what all their armies are going to do, but this will isolate the Sultan from the rest of his forces. Alright. Okay, so there's a loyalist rebellion. Is that it? Alright, the Turkish Sultan died from an illness. Shoot. Yeah, okay, so I guess I was proven to be a liar, but instead of a double rebellion with rebels as well as loyalists, we just get the loyalists. Okay. So they're going to get back their homeland points. 6. So they're going to get 6 points. That's still going to put them at 100, and we're just going to get a lot more. So I think we can stand to move our guys down. Let's at least do it this way. I'm just going to destroy all their troop production facilities. as well as taverns. Okay, and now I guess we'll go to Kiev, because this is really our only route down. Alright, let's crank up taxes to very high. So that's going to be a bunch of rebellions. Let's go check out our new king. Now he's going to be suffering a little bit from losing this territory. So how do we do this? Do we send the crusade right away? We could crusade for the Papal States, which is kind of crazy. Let's see, the new Sultan is in Constantinople. It would be awesome if we could hit that right now. By declaring a crusade right now, obviously we have the advantages of getting it going sooner. And we may need a goodly amount of time to get it where we want it to go. But on the other hand, that means that war begins. And so we are going to be starting a bunch of naval battles and losing a bunch of trade immediately. So, how do I want to do this? I think we're going to wait one more turn. We've still got a lot of training happening, which is great. And we've got mercenaries if we want them. But we've got, I think, a lot of good troops. Okay, we also have Pavies, Arbalesters, and so on in Portugal. All right. Okay, so the Danes take Northumbria. We lose Muscovy. 20 turns left before the end of the campaign. We get some more local rebellions here. Okay, this is the Portuguese Gil Eanes. Voyaged far south across the Atlantic Ocean and along the coast of Africa. His success in traveling so far brings glory to the royal house and opens up new opportunities for welcome trade. New trading goods are available in Portugal. We can check those out in a second. Let's see what these are. Okay, I think the honey was there before, and I think the olive oil was too, but cotton and spices, I want to say, are new to Portugal, so that's very cool. It's making a lot of money now. Trade income is 2,600. I don't know what it was before. Let's see. Yeah, we're not touching the public order in these places with our spies. There's just a lot of troops. Okay, now we're massed on the border. We could send all of our guys. Geez, we could go right into Georgia from Khazar. Right? I kind of want to keep a presence in Crimea, but they don't have ships here anymore. Interesting. I still don't think we can invade. Yeah, we can't hit any of these places simply because even though there's not a ship here, we have to pass through here, and you know, we can't move our troops on ships through sea zones that they control, if that makes sense. We could go right here. And actually, does that mean I don't think we can land from here over there. Yeah, no. That is a shame. All right, let's go ahead and do it. Let's declare the crusade. 750 florins, and we are now at war with the Turks. Okay, let's see what our crusade has gotten us. It's gotten us a 2-star Knight of Santiago. This is probably the lowest we've gotten. Put a couple of chivalric men-at-arms with that. And we do have some interesting options, I guess. We could go right for Naples, which is a little weird. Because then we'd have to go kind of up. Or maybe we could take the port across if we get rid of that Turkish ship, but I don't think I want to risk that. I'm not sure why we can go here. Oh, because this is papal territory, so this would not be an invasion. The problem with landing here is that our crusade could land here, but our other troops could not. Like, for example, well, okay, it would be an invasion, right? And I know we are going to attack Naples, but I don't want to do that yet. So we can land our troops in friendly territory over here from the west, but we can't invade anything with our troops from the west. Troops in Crete can hit Greece, Nicaea. They can hit a lot of this, which makes me wish I had more troops around here. And I guess you guys probably can't do too much from up here. Oh, they can go directly to Constantinople, actually. Oh, that might be worth doing. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't go with that. The question is what to do with the Crusade, because if we drop it into Venice, it'll be pretty vulnerable, right? There's all sorts of Turkish armies around here, and we won't be able to support it. The papacy will be fighting with us, assuming they fight, but this is not a very strong crusade. So we could put it in Sicily and then hope that things change, or we could put it up here, like in Crimea. That might be the best move. And then send it down next year. Let's try that. Let's try an attack. We may get another ship popping in here. A Turkish fleet. Actually, let's move you up there. We can split this up potentially. These Bagalas are 2 across the board, although the Dows. Alright, we'll split up this fleet, and we'll do you, and we'll do you. That's, you know, we'll see how this is going to work out. Let's bring you right over here. We're going to try to hunt out and destroy all these ships. Okay, so the speed of the Dow is 3. And the speed of the Caravel is 1. So what we're going to do is something that the manual suggests, is split up your fleets when you're chasing a faster ship. There's better odds, I guess it's a dice roll is what it makes it sound like, to see if they're going to catch. If this ship moves out of the Straits of Sicily, if the Turks evade, we might catch it. So we've got better odds if we split up, basically. All right, what's this? Same thing, it's a Dow. Okay. Now the bark might catch it. Let's put the bark with one of these units. One of the caravels. And what else we got? Alright, that's a Bagala. Alright, let's just go for it. Alright, there is some Turkish fleet up here in the North Atlantic, but they did attack Iceland, from what I recall. Or raided, anyway. Okay, so this means we've declared war, but we're moving our troops in a position. We're not attacking just yet. Hopefully there will not be a ship here. If next year there is a single ship in the Black Sea, that will put things back a little bit. But we could also invade over land. So it's not the end of the world. We've got a lot of good troops up here. I suppose we may as well keep training. And let's just check out our King's Influence, which is going fairly well, actually. there's a jihad. Where's that going? Okay, so we win in the Straits of Gibraltar. We win in the Straits of Sicily. Nice. Okay, lose in the Malta Channel, but also win in the Malta Channel. Okay, we've lost in the Adriatic. Ooh, that's a bad one to lose. Okay. Alright, our king just got married. I was not paying attention to that. That's fine. He's 25. There's plenty of time. Okay, so we've got a ship here still. Let's go ahead and get a couple of ships targeting that. Alright, theoretically, if we deal with these ships, we've got, some options in terms of how we proceed. But good news is this. There is nothing in the waters of the Black Sea. We are free to move down here and to contest the new Sultan Orhan for Constantinople. Let's drop right down. And the fact is, I don't care about Kiev anymore. Like, I don't need to defend it. I'm going to move literally everybody out of it. And we're just going to go single-mindedly straight for Constantinople. This is going to do some good for our points. It's going to deny the Turks 16 points right off the bat. And it's going to put us in position to contest for... Well, also, it's actually 19 points total because they get 3 because it's in their homelands now. And we can be in a position to hit them for these Turkish Empire 8 points also. Now, with the Khazar army, we could do something. We could go... We could go straight for Trebizond with it. This is not the best army. It might be better to just keep it in Crimea. It just doesn't seem worth building anymore. We could go down here in Georgia, but I'm thinking we might be in trouble. So let's just keep training. We'll see if we can hold on to any of these places. I do want to hold Crimea just so we can have something of a naval base. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time defending up here. We don't really need a lot of these places. I know we just lost a few points for conquest, but this is more fun. So we're going to do this. All right. Now we also have a bunch of other troops, but I don't think we can reasonably get them around. So, like, for example, yeah, these guys just literally can't get into the Eastern Mediterranean theater, sadly. We're going to have to focus then on the ships, which we are doing down here. And we're going to have to also pay attention to this. Okay, this is a dhow, so that should be pretty straightforward. Another dhow, and another dhow. Okay. So let's split them up and go one after the other. Now, we still have something here, so they don't have it all their own way. What's this? Okay, another dhow. Let's send, let's send 2 after it, just to make sure. I'm going to move you over here. And I'm going to send, let's say, all of you into the Western Mediterranean to try to chase down these couple of ships. Yeah, let's do this, actually. We'll go for a cog out of Valencia. But we do have to keep an eye on the loyalty of our men, which is actually quite bad now. Okay, you can do well over here. Actually, swap that. Okay, just moving people around. All right, otherwise that's okay. Let's see what this does. Alright, they are retreating, and is their Sultan here? I don't think he is anymore. I think he moved away. No, we got it. We got it without a fight. Alright, this is more good news. Great. Okay. Alright, this is just a peasant peasant revolt. Great. That's fine. The princely merchant, Jacques Coeur. The merchant, banker to many in royal circles, a master of the mint and advisor to kings, has done much to improve trade in France. His wise counsel and clever schemes have increased the general wealth to the benefit of many, and the king of France's acumen has also increased. That's a very cool little event. Okay. We've got Constantinople. Let's check out the king. Influence is working up here. This is good. And we've won some more sea battles. Let's see. This is looking better. This is still a mess, but we do have a lot of ships around. So we can move these guys out of the Western Med, I think. Let's bring them down here. And this is a Bagala, so we may want to put all these guys together. What is the speed? It's 2. Alright, I'm going to, put them all together just for the better odds of winning the battle, because if we catch up but it defeats us piecemeal, that does us no good. Right, we got a nice strong navy right here. And here, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Yeah, we're going to lose Khazar, no problem, that's totally fine. Let's bring the steppe guys down, and surprised Kiev is not revolting, but that'll be just a little while unless we get enough troops up there. This is great news. We've got Constantinople. Now this is going to hurt the Turks. Yeah, look at that. So that's pretty good. Next move, take away Nicaea, Serbia, Greece, Anatolia. So more Crusades, I would say. I should have been building these. But I was training troops, so let's just swap that around. We've got time for a few more Crusades before we have the 1453 end date. So I'm expecting, though, that we're not going to be getting out of this without at least a couple more battles. The Turks have a lot of troops, especially up around here, and so they can just bring them down on us, and this could be pretty messy. We've got some titles I can distribute, and we've actually got the fortress too. I mean, this is amazing. Let's see what we can build. Okay, we can build arquebusiers, we can build cogs here. This gives a bonus to cataphracts, which doesn't do us any good, but a decent mix of stuff. Let's build a few of those. Let's build a few of these. One of you. And let's go with a church just so we can get some more agents in the area. And we'll see if the Sultan, Orhan V, is going to strike back in the next couple of turns. I imagine he will. This jihad is headed somewhere, Venice. And to get there, it's either going to have to go by ship, which it'll have to defeat all of our shipping first, or it's going to have to butt heads with us in Constantinople. So we've got that on the menu. We're trying to get these two as well as Nicaea. What was it? Anatolia, is that the other one? Yeah, that's down here. So this one may be a little annoying. But yeah, we basically want to recreate the Latin Empire here by grabbing what we can of the Ottoman Empire before 1453. And then backstab the Pope to get Naples, which is now one of our homelands. So this is shaping up to be a more interesting campaign than I was anticipating. I thought we were just going to be, collecting points and zipping through the last few years here because the Russians were kind of done for. But the Turks, I didn't realize, if they do well, they get a lot of opportunities right at the end to make a ton of points. So this is shaping up to be very fun indeed. I hope you join me for the next episode. Until then, take care.